Aegon foresaw the child of fire, ice and fire. Okay, all the shit that's going down in House of the Dragons, all the fucking people that are dying because of this prophecy, all of that for Jon Snow not to do Dick and Arya Stark come in for the fucking kill.
Hey, bro.
That makes
like it's
that
shitting on its
makes-
own lore. It's
No,
literally setting it up to not do it, to be
the
plot twist.
He united the
no.
realms.
I
he
mean,
got everybody to like
the only
make the army,
theory,
but like
the only theory I'll support. Sorry, what you're saying. Go ahead.
like he got the army. Yes, like he like got everybody to fight them. But then to like not give him the fucking kill, like
They did give him the kill. You know what kill they gave him?
the dragon?
No.
Daenerys?
Oh.
Yep.
God.
That's not the one that he
killed the Mad
deserved, in my
Queen, bro.
opinion.
Okay. Welcome back to the Anime Alchemist podcast. My name is Gary.
My name is Emery.
My name's Martine.
My name is Brayden.
Our special guest today. It is our bonus episode.
Supposed to be House of the Dragon, but
Yeah, we don't know what kind of title we're gonna come up with.
yeah, this will be fun to edit.
It's definitely an unscripted episode.
Definitely
Unscripted, semi-unscripted.
You want to just go with unscripted instead of bonus?
Sure.
Okay.
We
Unscripted
come up-
episode. Yeah. Talk about House of Dragons.
Yeah, mainly this was because we wanted to talk about House of the Dragon season 1 because it just finished a week or two ago. So now that everyone has seen it, we invited Brayden because you are also a huge Game of Thrones House of the Dragon fan, correct?
I am indeed. I do love the show. Watched all of Game of Thrones. Know a little bit about the books and watch House of Dragons. So
Hell yeah.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, so we wanted to get on and talk about all the stuff that we liked, some stuff that maybe we didn't like or whatever, and maybe talk about what's gonna hopefully happen in the next season and just expectations, whatever we want really. You kind of have a layout, right? Like just of some things that we wanted to talk about. We can let it go into other topics.
Well, I was rewatching, just kind of rewatching, and I was like, let me kind of write down moments that impact me.
Mhm.
But episode 1, there's a lot to talk about, so we'll have to do that on another episode. So it starts off in
Yes.
episode 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean,
There is a lot.
Episode 1 was a
episode 1
lot.
is like the foundation of a lot of things and structure for the story. So like, there's a lot to cover in that. But in that second episode, there's a lot going on. Daemon runs off with his whore.
Mm-hmm.
God.
He steals the dragon egg to like put in the cradle and
Mm-hmm.
doesn't admit like, oh yeah, she's pregnant.
Yeah, and the whole issue with the king and believing, you take a dragon egg for your kid to have, and he was not happy.
He
about
even,
it.
he even
Yeah.
took the egg that Rhaenyra had picked out for the brother she was supposed to have.
Oh yeah.
That did not happen, sadly.
The one that he made fun of being the heir. For
Yeah, I
for
remember
an
he was
egg.
doing that whole speech with all the
Ooh, that was bad.
Man, Damon was a character I was not like expecting at all when I started watching the show, but damn, I really like his character.
I was very excited because Matt Smith is one of those actors that needed
Oh,
more
yeah.
like he needed to be on something where he was going to get like the actual publicity, the showtime, and he's showcasing his acting abilities to
What
the
the
highest extent.
Fuck are you talking about?
Well, the only other thing I knew he was in Doctor Who.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you need to watch The Crown, Bubba.
The Crown. Oh, yeah. I've never.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm
he
just
told me
didn't
I
watch
should
it.
watch it.
He plays young. I always forget like his actual name. He plays the queen's husband, like a young version.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Really?
He's a great fucking actor. I mean, shit.
No, he
He
is.
fell right into that role.
Yeah, he made it his own. Like, I believed him from the first second I saw him. I was
Mhm.
like, fuck. He can play a Targaryen.
No, 100%. He just has that vibe of like that. I'm a ruler. I'm I'm a Targaryen. I have
Mhm.
dragons. Like you could just tell by the way he talked about it in that final episode where he's discussing like when the Hand of the King shows up to try and discuss terms, and he's like, "We have more dragons than you." He's not trying
Yeah.
to do any of this like political negotiation, any of that. He's like, "We're stronger than you. We will burn you to the ground."
Yeah.
And he's not about this, fight around the bush. He's about straight to the point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he knows where he comes from. He knows how powerful his house is, and like
And like
they are for a reason.
like from that last episode. I'm sorry, we're like, she made that pact with, or like the Starks kneeled to her. and they're very honorable people. So like she has dragons, and low key like the North. That's kind of fucked for everybody else.
No, it is for sure. Been a lot of things that a lot of the people don't know is like a lot of people on that side of Westeros and stuff. They don't know about how strong the people in the North are and how the castles are and how the strongholds are and how the weather is, how much different it is and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So once that
They're
does
built different,
truly, once that
literally.
Yeah,
does
they
truly
are.
break out and the war does happen, in the coming seasons, like people are not going to be ready for the North at all. And that's I mean, it's going to be the same thing as Game of Thrones when the fight.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I was gonna say
Whoever
too. Yeah,
commands the North, like
they're like a
It's why Winterfell,
prominent house for a reason.
Why Winterfell was so big the entire show. It did
Yeah.
not matter from episode 1 to the end of season 7. It was who had control
Control
of
of
Winterfell.
Winterfell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
like it even immediately after Robb, like gets killed in season 3 and everything, the King of the North is essentially gone. They immediately put Lord Bolton as Warden of the North because there needs to be a prominent figure in
there
control of
has
that
to be
area.
something.
And like the Lannisters knew Tywin's a fucking genius in that show for like striking up that
He
deal.
is
It
one of
was
the- Oh, yeah.
underhanded as fuck, right?
That's
And you know what I mean? Like that you don't do that at a
Yeah.
wedding, right? Like
Yeah.
it's known. It's something that is known, right? And even Bran was talking about it too in the story. I'm like really remembering because I just watched this episode.
yeah.
My brother's watching it for the first time. But they talk about all that, and it just made sense though from the Lannister point of view for them to like really get control of the North because that essentially defeats all your enemies. No one's gonna contend with you. You know
No,
what
I mean that's what made Tywin such a good character. Is
Mhm.
he is. I mean, there's so many good characters, so I can't say he's like my favorite. There's so many great characters in that show, but the fact that he was able to like, he has one of the coldest lines where he's talking. It's him, Joffrey, and oh gosh, what was the queen's name?
Cersei.
Cersei.
Yeah.
It's been so long. And they're sitting there talking, and Joffrey starts kind of going off on a tangent, getting angry, trying to overthrow. And Tywin looks at him and he goes, "Do you think the king is the most powerful man in the realm?"
Oh no,
he-
I know what scene you're talking
Yeah, you
about.
know what I'm
He's
talking
like,
about?
he's like, I am the king.
Oh, he's like, you'll listen to me. I don't have to go to bed. I think he was sending him to bed or something. And then he was like, I'm the
says,
king.
Like, I am the king, and then Tyrion goes like, he's like Tywin.
Tywin, yeah.
Tywin tells him like, any man that needs to yell, "I am the king,"
is
no
no king.
Yeah.
And
right?
he shut him up too. Joffrey was like, "You motherfucker!" Like, and
so-
he said that in front of all those people there too. They
Yeah.
immediately like, he took control of that
He set
situation.
that tone immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm
And
him
then-
and you're not.
And then like he says, like
I'm
he
him.
says, he's after he sends him away, and he empties the room, and it's just him and Tyrion.
Mhm.
Tyrion like tells him like, you just sent the most powerful man
In
in Westeros to bed without his supper. And Tyrion responds like, any man who
He was like, you truly believe he's the most powerful
powerful
man
man in Westeros.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Tywin was honestly like one of the most goated characters. Like,
Mhm.
there's so many good characters in Game of
Mhm.
Thrones, but I feel like not enough people talk about Tywin because he really was like such a prominent figure. Like
so
from
low
season
key with
2,
what he did that it's
Mhm.
like so swept under the rug.
he
that,
essentially
like,
is the
how badass
reason
he
that
really
they're
was.
all not dead from the Battle of Blackwater, bro.
Yeah.
He came in and saved their lives. Like, that is incredible. We would have had no show post season 2
Yeah, no.
had he not
absolutely.
shown
I
up.
just remembered what Joffrey had said to him.
What?
He said, I know what it was. Any great king that needs to yell, I am the king, is no great king indeed.
Mhm.
And he's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you will learn that after I've won you this war. And he turns around and he goes, you know nothing about winning a war. My father was a war hero. He was out hunting and killing the Targaryens while you hit on
Hit in your rock.
or hit on
Casterly
Casterly
Rock.
Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna talk about too, because that's like Casterly Rock's like the only other place that's like as prominent to hold as like Winterfell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
they made that very obvious in the show when people
Mhm.
tried to attack.
I don't know. Some of those free cities, bro.
That was a cool scene where they come up to the top and sitting there, we're here to discuss your surrender. No, your surrender. They're like, what? And then that's when the dragons get introduced, dude. Like truly, like
Yeah.
get introduced to
Yeah.
like what they can do.
Oh
Oh man, that was so good.
And imagine if the Lannisters had control over any dragons ever. God damn.
Oh, it wouldn't be good with the
Yeah,
amount of
no.
strategy they had. Imagine giving them just like
That
two
would just be the most
dragons.
insane
Wouldn't be
buff
okay.
ever. Like,
I mean, dude, they were able to take down dragons with weaponry they designed. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, give them a dragon and it's probably not good.
yeah. No,
Okay,
for
so
sure.
like talk about like other places that were really important to like hunt, keep down, and like Loki. I think it's like the 3rd episode that they start talking about it
Mhm.
is like that like mini war. Was it in the Narrow Seas?
In the Stepstones.
Was it in the Stepstones?
I believe so, yeah. The one that Damon
like
fought.
fucked everything up.
Yeah, that was the Stepstones.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
Bro,
the Battle of the
that was
Stepstones where he
awesome
goes
with
and
the
kills
sea
the crab
serpent,
eater.
the sea
Yeah, and that was
serpent
episode
comes
2.
in.
Like, we got that. Right?
Bro,
2 or 3. I don't
he's
remember.
dragging him by a torso. He's dragging a torso.
Yeah.
That was
It's like chest down just a little bit and then entrails.
Yeah.
it was
Like-
crazy. He straight up was like, "We need a distraction," and he was like, "All right," just straight up went in there by himself.
I will go in, fight
And, yeah,
everybody,
and fight.
surrender.
Everybody.
And if you notice, I think that's the same episode as the stag, right? When like Rhaenyra finds the stag and then like kills that boar or something. So they're both like covered in blood or something. Because he's fighting over there in the Stepstones and then she's
Is that
doing all that. I think they were.
that is.
Because remember,
where
they were both
keep
covered in
skipping
blood.
Back and forth between. Yeah, I do
Yeah,
remember.
they're
Yeah,
like
so
the
there's like
parallels.
some symbolism there, parallels that they're both kind of going through that same journey, probably. But like,
I love-
essentially, they're destined to kind of like eventually
Mhm.
make.
I
be
love
together or
that.
whatever, Yeah,
that,
I,
Go ahead.
yeah, I love that meeting with Damon and Corlys.
Mhm.
Because like that quote he says to him, you know, we are the realm's second sons.
Yeah, that was.
Our worth is not given.
Mhm.
It has to
But
be
earned.
made.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, fuck. You're right.
You're right.
Man, I love the introduction of the Valerians and like Corlys, for example, and
Mhm.
Rhaenys. Like,
Mhm.
she's a Targaryen, but she's married into the Valerian
How she
house.
how she rode off on that dragon at the end of episode.
Oh, that
9,
was-
man.
Bro.
Dude, she
That
could
was
have.
that was one of the greatest like growl like roars of a dragon like
Mm-hmm.
ever.
Yeah, that decision was probably like one of the biggest decisions of the entire show. Like,
Oh yeah, to not
burn them
just
down right
burn
then and
them
there.
down right there. Is that because she was making that point? Like, because she had told them from the beginning, and why she kind of stayed out of it so much is she was making the point: this is not my war.
Yeah.
I do not want to be involved in
And
this.
honestly, I agree with her too. Like that's the same
Mhm.
thing I immediately thought. Like even my brother Pablo, no. I told him about it though, but he hasn't like he's really seen it, and he told me like, why didn't she burn them all down? And I'm like, it's not her war. Like this isn't something that she needs to be starting because she's kind of not. I don't want to say a victim, but she's just on the sidelines, right? This isn't between her. She already lost her claim to the throne,
Yeah.
and she, I think, at that point has made peace with it too. That's why when she comes
Yeah.
back and tells like Rhaenyra and everything, she doesn't immediately say like we'll side with you. She's gonna wait for her husband because she's accepted like that, like the Driftmark is her
That's
life
her
now.
home.
That's her home. So
Yeah.
what Corlys decides, is essentially what she believes is best because there's no reason.
Yeah, just on the fact that she absolutely does, and when he obviously comes back injured and stuff, she's still there.
Yeah.
But you can tell she was 100% giving up on the throne, like you said, because whenever you could tell he's still ambitious for it and still is kind of trying to push her in that direction, and she snaps and she's like, "You prefer to go for the throne than our own son, like our own
Yeah.
kids, like that's what you're shooting for."
Yeah.
And that's where he's like, the only thing. What does he say? He has that cold line. The only thing that matters in this, the only thing that's dynasty in this world is your name, or what does he say?
No.
Something.
The only thing that history remembers is not
is
the
your name.
blood.
Yeah.
History remembers names.
History. That's what he says.
Mm.
And that was cool. And then also another just crazy scene. I heard about this. I'd watched it just in a Twitter clip. The scene in I think it's episode 4, episode 5, where Damon goes and he meets up with the old wife and he stomps her down with the
Oh, we just watched that downstairs.
So that actually doesn't happen in the books and stuff like that. So she ends up just I think dying off later in the show. I forget how, but she doesn't die to Damon. But they thought that was a good for Damon's
Mhm.
character because Damon's
Oh.
character didn't give, he doesn't care. He's
Yeah.
gonna go and be relentless. He's gonna get what he wants, and he's gonna kill you off to get exactly what he wants. So the directors thought that was a good call, and they actually made that change as opposed to how the books had it. I think she just dies off later.
Damn.
Oh, I didn't know that. I knew that they made a couple changes, like from the books and everything, but I haven't read them, so I don't know everything. The only big one that I can think of right now, or that I remember reading or seeing, was the very end in the finale when I forgot the name of the Rhaenyra's son. It wasn't Jace, right? Or was it Luke?
Lucerys or
Lucerys, yeah. He goes to the Eyrie, right?
No, it's
Or the House Tully?
No, it's the Storm.
Yeah, it's Battle Stormfront. So whose house is that? That's
I thought that was the Eyrie. No. Ah, fuck. There's so many houses. It's hard to remember.
Yeah.
But he flies over there to meet with that lord, right?
Yeah.
To try to like ally them with Rhaenyra and their cause and everything, right? And then Aemond is already there, kind of waiting for him. So after like they leave, and that whole dragon sequence happens in the thunderstorm, which was fucking awesome.
amazing.
Dude.
One of my favorite sequences in the entire series, or
Bro.
entire season, I guess. And like at the end, when Vhagar kills off Luke basically and his dragon and everything. So they played it more as like the dragons couldn't, they weren't listening to their riders, right? Like they're kind of acting on their own. Apparently in the books, it was all intentional. Aemond was actually going for Luke and intentionally wanted to go out and kill him. But in the series, they made it more like that wasn't what he wanted. It was more like the dragons acting out. And like you kind of see that on a look on his face and everything. And so like I thought that was kind of a major change, but I kind of like that change, honestly.
So in the books they had it to where like it was sort of like he wanted to, like his intent was there and they showed it more in the book, but like it still wasn't like he was like exactly 100% trying to kill him.
Oh, okay.
But like there was more like him showing to where like he didn't care if it did happen.
Oh, okay.
But,
So
like,
he wasn't pushing for
like,
it, but he's like, if it
pushing for
happens, it
but
happens.
If it happens, it happens. So that was the big difference. And then I know the other absolutely like massive thing is whenever he does do it, that's you know how many war crimes are going to be committed this season now?
Yeah.
Like an absurd amount of war crimes are about to happen.
This part of the podcast is brought to you by Hakai Culture. Do you guys have phenomenal legs like Gary? Maybe you got some tattoos on your legs like me and you just want to show them off. Best way to do that was Hakai Culture. They have some of the best anime merch on some of the most phenomenal looking designs for shorts for men. You can get anything from the Meta Nomi. You can get
Gama no Mi.
you can get the Goma Nomi. Sakuna. You can get Sakuna's pattern.
Yeah, they have a lot of the Demon Slayer ones.
Also, so if you guys want to check that out, you guys can get a 10% off if you use my code Emery13377. Again, that's code Emery13377. He can keep his tongue. That was so badass.
Dude,
That was
man.
awesome.
He
that
can
is-
keep his fucking tongue.
That's like one of those moments that you needed to see in this series. Because if you're coming out of like Game of Thrones, like moments like those are kind of what make Game of Thrones so special.
You're a man of great culture for saying that line. Because when I saw that, I had to rewind that about 2 times. I was like, wait a second. Did he just say that and proceed to do it like that?
Mm-hmm.
He did.
It was so
Yeah.
badass.
Oh, he did.
He did. That's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
fuck.
He didn't. He said he can keep his tongue.
Damon is the definition of fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
honestly.
Like
just,
that- like
he's
that
not
old
gonna
guy.
warn you.
Like that old guy was talking about the chart. He's like, the more you fuck around,
Round.
The
more you're gonna find out.
Yeah. No, I love that. That scene right before the you can keep your tongue part, like it reminded me of the Tyrion courtroom scene. Not to that level, obviously,
Yeah,
but
but
like
almost
he
at that
fucking
level.
knew that like this
Oh,
is
yeah.
it. I'm either gonna live or die. And I'm probably gonna die. So he just turned around, laid it all on the floor. It's like they're bastards, and
Oh,
she
he's
is
a
a whore.
whore.
And I was like,
Oh, yeah,
Fuck.
when he said and she's a whore, I was like, oh no, he's dead.
Yeah.
he's dead. Yeah.
And
the
then when
bastard
when
scene?
Viserys stepped up and was just like, "I'll have your tongue," I was like, "Well, that's going kind of like." Never
Perfect.
mind.
Perfect. Like lead into. Oh my god.
Yeah. No. 100%.
And bro, he did it so casually too. He was just like, oh, he said that. Oh, and he's not even looking at me, and he's unarmed. I don't care.
Yeah. You're
He
rid of
can
him.
keep his tongue.
For the people who don't know, Viserys was actually the last person to ever ride. No, is it Balerion?
No,
it
definitely
is
not.
Balerion.
Balerion.
Valerian.
Valerian the
Black Dread.
Really?
Black Dread.
Yes.
Yeah.
He got to ride
There
it.
we go.
He was the last person to.
So
I
He
thought-
wrote it. He wrote it one time.
Uh huh.
It died a year later.
Wow. Oh man, I really hope we get to see that in season 2, like a flashback to Aegon, and I just want to see the dragon. Really.
I would love for them to do the black dragon.
Yeah. Like, dude,
More than
fucking
any-
Vagar is huge, and you're telling me
Mhm.
this dragon is bigger. Like,
Mhm.
the fuck?
And then the dragon that Damon was singing to is the
Oh,
third or fourth biggest.
Yeah.
Third, I think.
I kind of like that he knew
Yeah.
they needed to like up their
We gotta
firepower
beef
a
up
little
our
bit.
shit.
I mean,
Mhm.
that was the dragon that Jagar rode, I believe.
I think so. Yeah.
Was that the
Mhm.
brother? The Viserys' brother?
No.
That was his.
Or was it his
Dad or
grandfather's?
grandfather.
Grandfather's
Yeah.
dragon.
Yeah, that dragon is
Jorah?
that dragon is serious.
I think so. Wasn't it Jorah?
Yeah, King
Mhm.
Jorah. He's the
Jorah.
one who like made the infrastructure and roads.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Like he's like the
Viserys'
like a
father,
genius
right?
king.
Is who we're
No,
thinking?
no,
Or
that's
no?
his grandfather.
Viserys' grandfather.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There's so many names.
Viserys and Daemon's dad, he was like the perfect Targaryen, bro.
Really?
Yeah. He was a warrior.
Jaehaerys.
Jaehaerys. There you go.
Jaehaerys, yeah.
Jaehaerys. There we go.
Yeah.
It was like on the tip of my tongue. I remember.
But like he ended up dying of like a small like illness.
Really? Speaking of illness, man, did anyone else get the feeling that like you were just surprised at how long Viserys held on?
Yeah.
Oh
throughout
yeah.
this show?
Oh man, yeah, cause I remember I had a discussion with my friends after the way episode 5 ends, where he's just laying there and he falls over and he was like, he's dead. And I was like, I don't think he's dead, but like, there's a chance.
There's a chance, yeah.
He looked dead, but man, that would be really quick, and I feel like they do a little bit more with his death than that.
Watching him like slowly decay, bro.
Yeah.
That was
hole in it.
Talk about an acting performance in that
For
episode
real.
by him. He
this man needs a
threw it
Oscar.
on the table for that episode.
Mhm.
Like, was just great
So-
from
From beginning to
start
end,
finish.
yeah,
literally.
everything.
You know the scene with the crown falling?
Yes, yeah.
That was like
Unscripted.
ad lib. Like that happened, and like instead of like the scenes cutting, he came up, he picked up the crown. Like none of that was fucking
Yeah.
scripted. And then proceeded to walk him to the throne and then place the crown upon his head. Like all of that was not scripted, and like they were just like perfect.
Oh, and what I love about that too is they kind of did a similar moment, I think intentionally this time at the end when they crowned Rhaenyra on
Mhm.
Driftmark. He hands her the crown, and I really like it because it kind of gives you that feeling that like he's held that crown twice, and both times he's probably thinking that like
This could be mine.
this could be mine, this should be mine, maybe, you know, and like in both situations he hands it off to the other successor or whatever, you know. And I just think that's really cool that it happens with Viserys and it happens with Rhaenyra, you know. It just makes Daemon such a complex character because at first you think he's the bad guy, and then he does good stuff and he wins in the steps and it's like, okay, no, maybe he's a good guy, and he's neither. He
He's-
fucking is his
He's
own
chaotic
character.
neutral, bro.
He's a chaotic neutral.
He makes his decisions
He-
on what he feels.
He does what
is
the fuck he wants.
exactly is. If he
Bro,
thinks that's what
he did not-
that's what he does.
He did not like not knowing about Aegon's dream.
yeah,
He
a big
did
fan of
not.
I
fucking
didn't
like it.
realize
When
that
he
he
turned around. He
didn't know.
grabbed her. I was like, "Oh shit!"
yeah.
Like,
and
Like,
she, but
and
she,
it dawned, and like when she turned around, somebody said,
You
"You
don't
never,
know.
you don't know, do you?"
and it's
that's
like
what-
the one thing she has, or not one thing, but one of the things that she has over him, you know, like
Mhm.
really
the one thing that
making her
she-
like more of a have more claim to the throne than him.
It's like, oh,
if
you don't
nobody
know
else
about
to
this.
goes to take that blade and heat it up to see like and like read it in old Valyrian, like the only person who knows the correct like prediction of Aegon's dream is Rhaenyra. Queen Alicent's got a fucking
Fucked up
bullshit version.
Yeah. She got the Spark Notes version, Cliff Notes.
Yeah, fucking for real.
Cliff notes.
Yeah, no, and
Like
that's
they're
why
like
it's such a
Aegon.
fucking big
Oh, okay.
deal.
Oh,
It's-
okay.
it's a
Aegon. We're talking
Netflix
about the current
adaptation, bro.
living one.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Oh my god. And like I guess I kind of understand why she ends up doing all the stuff that she does and you know telling them, because if you're in that position, the only Aegon you know is your son, right?
Mhm.
You have no knowledge of the history of the Targaryens or anything like that. So it's a justifiable decision, but it's the wrong fucking decision though. Like
Yeah, she's really gonna find out that was not the overall.
yeah, it's
best
gonna lead to
decision
so
to
much
make.
death and destruction. Like
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he was a cocky little fuck since he was a kid, though.
yeah, and that's honestly where I see it's on her. Like she should really know that even if she misinterpreted what Viserys said, she should know that Aegon is not fit to be the ruler of the realm. Like, he is
she's
not fit to be
blinded
king.
though. She's very much blinded because I mean,
Motherly
she
figure
could
type thing.
motherly 100%, but then she also has her dad in her ear the
That's
entire
true.
time, telling her
Mhm.
from episode 4
Ooh.
that ultimately, no matter what, I remember, I know you guys remember this, when he told her when it comes down to it and the crown is to be raised, the people of the Seven Kingdoms will want a male because back in that time there was never a queen. There had never been a queen who ruled the Seven Kingdoms, and he told her straight up, he was like, people are not going to like that. They will rally behind the firstborn of the true king.
It will
and
like
they will rally behind
Especially
him.
like when his name is fucking Aegon.
Aegon, yeah,
Like that
exactly.
name alone just carries so much weight.
it fits and it
And
makes
you know what's
sense.
He's the
shit.
second of his name.
We'll go into this little Game of Thrones thing.
Mhm.
Because like you know how they tell you that Jon Snow's name was Aegon Targaryen?
Mhm.
That's not accurate.
What is it? supposed to be?
Aemon Targaryen.
It was supposed to be Aemon.
Mhm.
They changed it to Aegon. Why?
The child of prophecy for the Aegon's prophecy child. What would you name him?
Aegon. Oh.
Like it makes sense. I get why they did it, but like I mean that would make him like what, Aegon the fucking 7th?
Probably. There's so many like Aegon.
Yeah, there's
Aemon,
lots
Mhm.
of Aegons.
Everyone.
Man, that was one of the craziest, like, when they, like, how they revealed him being a Targaryen in Game of
Mhm.
Thrones. That was, like, I was literally jumping, like, in my chair. I was like, wait. I was like, there's no way. The way they held that out for, like, almost 6 seasons or
Mhm.
something and, like, brought that on and then to finally reveal it, that was just incredible. Like,
And
just
then-
incredible build up to an incredible reveal.
The subtle little plays throughout the series where they're like, oh, blood magic can do all this crazy shit. And it's just like, okay, in the end, this was a man born of prophecy. Of course, he's not going to fucking die. Like,
Oh, bro. Yeah, that was crazy. He came,
Came
back.
back.
I was gonna
would
lose
say,
his shit when
John
he sees that.
oh yeah.
I'm just gonna stay quiet. I'm not even gonna, because I didn't realize that I was doing this, but every time I tell him, like, oh wait, I want to watch this episode with you, or something happens in this episode that I want to watch, he automatically gets that flag that like, oh, I need to pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
So if I stop saying that and I'll just like casually watch and try to just catch it, then hopefully I'll get a bigger reaction from him. You know what I mean?
No.
Because I kind of dropped the ball with the Joffrey thing. I didn't tell him that he died, but I told him that I wanted to watch that episode, and then Joffrey ends up getting a lot of screen time. He's like, I kind of saw that coming. So I was like, oh, that's my bad. I'm sorry. I'll shut up now. This is so good.
Also, Game of Thrones spoils the end of House of the Dragon.
Yeah, I talked to you. You saw that with Joffrey
She
walks
eats.
over
Yeah.
the
She
throne
eats.
She's eaten
She's
by
eaten.
by
her
Aegon.
brother Aegon's dragon
It's fucking great.
while
in
her
front of
child
her
watches.
children.
Wait, so Aegon is
Viserys?
No, Rhaenyra.
Aegon the second.
yeah, so Viserys' son.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
kills her.
Rhaenyra is
Has
eaten
his-
by her brother's dragon,
Yeah, and who's his dragon?
Her brother Aegon?
like her
Uh-huh.
half brother.
Aegon's dragon
Aegon's dragon
eats
eats
Rhaenyra
Rhaenyra
in front of
in
her-
front of,
front of her children.
Joffrey.
Oh my god. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joffrey like
Oh, it's either Joffrey or it's Aegon.
Joffrey says that.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is getting really super confusing, especially
Because
with
we're
all
talking
this-
about two different Joffreys.
Okay, yeah,
We just
Joffrey
talked
from
about two
Game of
different
Thrones,
Aegons.
the one
Joffrey-
who was the king, the one who died to poisoning.
Mhm.
He is the one who like
Was telling
says
that
that
story.
story.
Yes, yeah, I remember that.
But I believe it is Rhaenyra's
recounted
third
his-
son,
Joffrey.
Joffrey,
That,
that
um,
watches.
Yeah,
her
that
get
her husband named.
Mhm.
that.
Just I wonder how they're gonna. I mean, do you guys think that will be the end of House of Dragon, or do you think there will be like maybe a
No.
little bit more? After
No.
that?
I think they're
No.
gonna show like what happens afterwards, and like what happens to Aegon.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a lot of stuff fleshed out. Could y'all see them doing like a whole separate spin-off? Like we have House of Dragons, and then it's like
You hear they're
because
doing
we
a
had Game of
spinoff-
Thrones.
They're doing a spinoff of Sea Snake
Oh,
Really?
for the Sea Snake.
oh fuck
George R.
yes!
R.
I
Martin's
love
about
Corliss,
80% of
bro.
it done, and he says it'll be. If they do it properly, it should be about 5 to 7 seasons.
Damn,
Bro,
son.
That's
it's
what I want.
basically Game of Thrones pirates.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow, that was a really good call.
I told you I've been getting better at it. Dude, I'm really excited for all these like shows and spin-offs, especially House of the Dragon, but everything else that's to come because I watched Game of Thrones late. I didn't watch it as it was coming out. I literally
Same.
binged seasons 1 through 8, like the entire show, maybe a week after the last episode premiered. And it was funny because back then, like I was in college and HBO Max wasn't a thing, so it wasn't really on any streaming platforms. But one of my friends in college had the entire show downloaded on her hard drive, and she found out that I hadn't watched it, and she's like, "You haven't seen it? Oh my god!" And then literally the next day brings her hard drive like, "Here are all of the episodes of Game of Thrones. Download it to your hard drive and watch them." Like, and I was like, "Okay, like there's no reason for me not to. I have every single episode right here."
It's one of the greatest decisions you made.
Binged it in 3.5 weeks. I was like, "Holy fucking shit!
I did the
I've been
same.
missing out." Like, I never wanted to watch it. I thought it was gonna be like not my thing. I didn't think I was into
I did
dragons
the
and
same.
medieval.
I thought it was gonna be kind of cheesy or medieval stuff, and then by the end of season 1, I was like, I need more.
Mhm.
That was actually kind of hardcore.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean,
Every
the way
season
they
just got
ended
better and
that,
better
it
and
was
better.
just like, okay, so the main character's no longer with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like-
seriously.
So like, where are we going from here? Like, and then they did it beautifully, and then
No,
just,
the 5
oh,
children were the main characters.
They were
Mhm.
indeed.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to be able to watch now like more Game of Thrones lore related shows week to week, you know, and kind of experience it with the entire community because I didn't get to do that with Game of Thrones, but now I get to do it with this, you know, and I think it just makes it all the better.
Hey, what's this work theory?
Oh yeah, okay. It's not my theory, and I'm probably gonna completely butcher like how it all goes, but I saw a theory. What?
They gave you were wrong, you were right. The 5 kids were the main story, but Ned Stark had 6.
Ooh.
Rick
Damn.
Rhaegar didn't get shit.
Rick on, poor guy. Man, that Pablo's gonna
Except
really
I'm
hate that when he
fucking-
sees it.
Bro, I fucking love Rickon.
I like
They
Rickon
just killed
too.
him.
Shaggy Dog.
He
He
did.
didn't even get to do anything.
He did
He didn't even get to do anything, bro.
anything.
No, nothing.
Nothing.
He was the catalyst for the Battle of the Bastards.
That was one of the greatest fight scenes that's ever been
It
filmed.
really
so-
It is
fucking
my
was, bro.
favorite
and
fight
his,
scene
and
in the
his, and
entire
his
show.
death is it gave us that. So you take what you can get.
It's true.
Because I mean, I loved the Battle of Winterfell. Season 8, episode 3. That was a great battle. But I
Mhm.
still think the way Battle of the Bastards was done was better.
It's
I love
beautiful.
Sansa's like statement at the end. Tomorrow you die, Lord Bolton. Sleep well.
Sleep
well.
And it just rides off. It's just like,
Yeah. Oh man,
damn.
I'm glad they did good with Sansa because it took a while for me to like her. Like she's
Sophia
one of those
Turner's
characters that
so-
like just take.
Oh
a
yeah,
while.
in the beginning I was just like annoying.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
we
feel
now
bad
have a
for her.
hardened bitch.
Yeah, like
Wow.
she has been through so much shit and really shows it by like the end of the end quarter of the show, I guess. Anything past season probably 5, honestly. Like 5 until the rest of
Yeah.
the show, because that's when she kind of gets roped in with Ramsay and everything. We all know the piece of shit Ramsay is.
Well, after
Mm.
Joffrey and then into Ramsey, that's when I was like, okay.
Yeah,
kinda
that's when I
feel
felt bad. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like the shittiest thing is like the only time she was with a decent man.
Yeah.
He was a dwarf.
Has anybody in so far that we can think in Game of Thrones House of Dragon ever gone through more of a rough time than our boy Theon Greyjoy?
Oh god. No.
Man, fuck that little bitch.
Nah, dude.
No,
he
I
got more
disagree.
than enough
Nah,
punishment.
That dude,
Nah, bro, he killed 2 kids.
his
Yeah.
dick got sent in a box.
He
Like,
got
it-
broken down mentally to the point that he
He
was.
acted like a dog.
He acted
did-
like
who
a
you guys talking about?
dog, bro.
Theon
Theon.
Greyjoy. I
Theon
said, has
Greyjoy.
anybody been abused more in the Game of Thrones series than him?
I'm not familiar who you're talking about, but are you guys familiar with Reek?
Yeah.
Reek.
He's-
Reek,
yeah,
Reek got it the shit beat out of him. Mhm,
Reek did get
mhm.
the shit beat out of him.
I don't know. I feel like he deserved it.
Nah. I
Yeah,
think- Well,
so
I mean,
do I.
he did deserve a lot of it, but then it just got to a point where it was like, okay, like
It was just no.
at that point, like you kill him off. Like at
Yeah.
that point, he suffered enough to where like it
Nah,
merits
nah,
death.
nah,
but
bro.
he
Nah,
has to
he
pay
didn't
for
have-
his sins,
He didn't
bro.
have a
He-
dick and balls, bro.
Hey, he
could've
went out. He
became an
went out
unsullied.
pretty goated though. You can't lie. The way he went out was pretty good.
That's true.
He went out like a straight, just to the end.
He went out like a
Very-
Stark.
Just like the
He
same.
redeemed himself.
What's his name? I was Daenerys' main protector for the entire series.
Sir Jorah. Or
Jorah.
Jorah Mormont.
He is, I think,
Mormont.
the most slept on character
Oh yeah,
from Game of
easily.
Thrones. Like, I love that dude from start to end. The way he gets up when you think he's done and just stands there in front of her with his sword, and she's like doesn't even know what to say.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's just like one of those scenes where it's like, holy crap!
Well, it's
like, this is
crazy how his
ride or
devotion to her
die.
the entire show, you know?
entire time, even when she like cut him off, sent him away,
It didn't
came
matter.
back.
I got a question. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Your answer determines whether or not you're gonna stay on this podcast.
No pressure, so.
Sure.
Grey Worm,
Uh-huh.
goated or ungoated?
Goated.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Go.
Grey
Grey Worm is the fucking goat.
He's a goat.
I mean,
Period.
besides one other person in the show. In fighting aspect, in my opinion.
Oh,
Oh, not necessarily
Not even
fighting,
fighting
aspect,
aspect,
just more
but
so as a character.
As
like,
a character,
goated
I like him. Like, it's very close, dude, but I
Bro,
think I
after
gotta put the
Masari
Hound
died,
above him.
Oh,
After
the
Masari died
Hound.
and he
The
went
Hound is a-
crazy.
I think I have to. What were you saying? Oh, he went. Oh,
Yeah, bro. He like tore into everybody. He was
Oh,
he was
he
bloodlusted.
didn't know
He
where-
wanted
but the
revenge.
Hound is the Hound was so just all in all out was so bad.
He was also one of the most.
No, hear me
Long
out.
time.
Hear me out. The Hound was only such a good character because Arya was with him.
mhm.
I think they played really well off of each other.
Character.
I
You
think
know-
like that duo was probably one of the better ones because of their like really like she hated him. She wanted to kill him.
It was.
the moment from season 1 when he killed that kid, you know, and it
Mhm.
kind of blossomed into like he was protecting her. You know what I mean? And it was a character arc, you know, that lasted pretty much the entire show. But I think it was really interesting.
No, I agree. I think that dynamic helped his character a lot, but I think like what, at least in my opinion, what helped was like just his own personal drive. Like he hated the mountain, like
Yeah.
Circle
Mhm.
Gang, like the entire time, and that was one of my favorite one-on-one fight scenes. Is the way they did that with the whole buildings falling apart around him and stuff.
Oh yeah, at the end.
That was very, very cool.
Also, he did like completely tell off Joffrey while he was king. He was like, or not to him, but like remember
Oh.
the Battle of Blackwater?
Yeah, oh,
He's like,
yeah,
fuck the king,
Yeah.
dude. And he said that and lived after that. You know, I mean, granted, he ran away, but like he lived, so
True.
that's pretty fucking cool. He can say that he completely dissed the king like that.
People aren't crossing him, man. That's not a guy you go and just pick a fight with unless
Yeah.
it's like you want to die.
Bro, people had fucked up and pulled up on him not knowing who he was. Remember when he was at that little settlement?
Yeah, that little tavern or
And then
whatever.
everybody pulled up and they like killed everybody while he was gone or something like that. And like he fights back and he just slaughters them.
Yeah.
Like
Also,
they fucked around. And found
fucking
out.
Tyrion's dude.
He-
Pod.
That
the
source-
way-
No.
Ah,
No,
I
that's-
thought we were talking about
No,
Podrick
I-
the Pussy
You're
Slayer.
talking
Podrick the
about
Pussy
for the-
Slayer
you're
is
talking
the
about
absolute
the battle
goat.
where he does the battle for him in the courtroom, right? You're talking about him.
Oh
guy
yeah,
that he would always, like,
Sir,
ask-
Sir Braun of the Blackwater.
Ron was
I
like,
have to say
that
his
man-
full title to remember
that,
his name.
That man
Of
started
the
from
Black
fucking
Water.
like
Zero.
nothing.
Like,
Hero and ended up
level
having a whole
1.
castle.
Oh yeah.
And then
His name.
he and well he
And a
at the
wife.
end he
Yeah,
he-
that's true. I
at the end he
forgot
sat
the
at the council.
yeah,
He
ended
was
up at
part of the small
council.
court. He was
Like,
part of the small court. Like
this man made it.
He
I believe he
played-
was the master
played the
of
game
coin, right?
well.
He went through it though.
No, he's not
Dude,
the
he
master.
did.
Of
When
coin.
he came in. No, that's not. Yeah, that's not master of coin.
he wasn't the master of coin about
at the end of the show.
I think he's the head of the City Watch.
Yeah.
That
Oh, it
would
might
make
be
more
the City
sense,
Watch.
yeah.
Yeah. Y'all keep talking. I'll look.
Littlefinger is one of my favorite characters.
He was
in all
such a
Game
piece of
Thrones.
shit, but he was
Hated
such an
him. He's
important
so good
character.
at
That's how I
everything he
feel
did.
about
Yeah.
Otto.
Otto Hightower, same fucking
Yeah.
vibes.
Yeah,
Same fucking
yeah.
vibes.
And then what was the
Hey, did
Whispers.
Pablo
Bald
had to have
guy.
seen the Crossbow episode.
Huh?
Yeah, he did.
Whisperers?
What do you think of that?
Dude, he
What was
texted
his
me
name?
because I wasn't there to watch
He
it
was
with him,
really
and he
good
was like,
too.
"Dude, Joffrey's fucked up," and I'm like, "Oh, I know."
The big bald guy who would always be having the whispers. He would have be like, what was his name? Oh man. See, I need to
Oh,
rewatch
from House
Game
of the Dragon, right? The dude.
No,
with
no,
the-
no, no, no. From Game of Thrones, the bald guy,
Oh, Lord Varys.
Lord
Oh,
Varys.
Varys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Varys.
Oh, that
He's-
guy.
The eunuch.
Varys. Man,
The
he went
eunuch.
out pretty
He
crazy.
was a great character to have.
Love
was.
him.
He was until he got burned.
Yeah,
Poor guy's pee-pee couldn't get hard.
it's crazy
It,
because
it couldn't because it wasn't there.
I really liked his character because, and I talked to my brother about this. He was saying that like he didn't know if he was a good guy or bad guy.
It's rough out here, man.
He didn't know if Lord Varys was like a good guy or bad guy.
Yeah.
He would keep asking me like, "Is this like what's his deal, whatever?" And I'm like, just think of it as like he's not a good guy or bad guy. He doesn't really play the game Littlefinger plays, but he is someone who represents the people.
Mhm.
You
He's
know what
the
I mean?
most neutral.
He's the most neutral party because he doesn't speak for himself. He doesn't speak for the Highborns. He's like, no, I will do what is best for the realm. That is what he
Mhm.
always preached. And I always thought he kept true to that because
Oh yeah.
No,
you
he
know,
did.
when he switched sides, it was when it made sense for him to
No,
do
he
that, right?
he knew. He was the one who called it ahead of time.
Mhm.
You know, before most other people and stuff. He kind of could tell it was going in that direction and stuff. So he he made that change, and he ultimately paid the ultimate price. But I mean, he knew how it was going.
Oh, he did get Master of Coin at the end of the show. Braun.
Suck it, bitches.
I forgot. I thought it was
I liked
someone
him.
else.
I liked him. I from every fucking moment he
Yeah.
was. I think he had. I loved every time that somebody called upon him
Mhm.
to be like his like
His champion or whatever.
yeah his champion. Like every time Tyrion used him as his champion, I was like yeah because Jon Snow's not there, the Hound's not there. Yeah, he honestly
Jamie wasn't around for a lot. of
Jamie
it.
wasn't around. In my opinion, yeah, easily probably like
One of the best fighters.
he's
other
in top
than,
five. Top five.
Sir
Yeah.
Dang should have died in season 6.
Who's that
Who?
lady? The Lady Knight.
The Mount should have died in
Season 6, yes.
Season 6. He should have died if somebody wasn't cocky. They decided. They just said we're gonna keep you because we have to have you fight the Hound later.
Oh
Damn.
In my
You make a
opinion,
gimmick
because
good
I
point.
think in all reality, like, because didn't his blade was poison. It wasn't that he was the greatest fighter. The tip of his spear that he used, I
Mhm.
think, had poison.
Poison
and
on
stuff.
it.
Mhm.
And that's what ultimately led him to have that disease at the end of the show.
Where he was like a
believe,
zombie,
right?
basically.
Yeah, mhm. Is that's what caused that was the poison on his spear when he attacked him.
Yeah.
Okay, so quick question, real quick. Throughout like
could you like distill a poison to like infect people with grayscale?
I'm sure. it'd be
Probably.
possible. Yeah.
Bro, that's like war crime level shit right there.
It is.
That's biowarfare at that
that's
point.
fucked.
okay, so if you put I guess Damon in the talk and everything like that, how would you order like swordsmen and warriors throughout Game of Thrones and House of the Dragons? Just the ones that you've seen like on screen.
Okay.
I
on,
think Jon
on
Snow.
screen.
I think Jon
Mhm.
Snow's better than Daemon.
You think Jon Snow is better than Damon?
Yeah, because Sir Kristen beat Daemon in the first fucking
That was
encounter.
jousting.
Doesn't matter. He still fucking lost.
Okay.
And it turned into a sword battle.
Jon Snow never won to fucking Robb Stark.
He never wanted to, but I think he still would have beat him. I think Jon Snow was
Later
a
on in
better
the
swordsman
show,
than
he
Robb.
would've.
Later on, yeah.
Nah, the way
Especially with the
they
training he got in the Night's Watch.
Maybe later on, but the
Yeah.
way they depicted it.
So are you saying
whenever
from
they
the
were
beginning?
Training, like from the
If-
start,
let's say if they
They-
kept
it
on the
just showed,
same
like,
pace, yeah.
That he,
you know,
yeah.
he was leagues above him.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah, but I think his experience in
But
the
if
Night's
you-
Watch definitely like put him
If you
above
took
Robb.
if you put like peak John and like peak Rob, yeah, no, peak John gonna take it.
No.
Like
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Robb also got
Daemon-
taken out a lot
Daemon's
earlier.
really
so.
good. Obviously, the Hound. You know who's a very slept on answer? I feel like the people won't say.
Arya
Ooh.
Stark.
That is a great one.
that is a good answer.
Brienne of Tarth.
Oh, Brienne.
Oh
was
my
great.
God,
You cannot
yes.
forget about
No.
Brienne.
I was like,
hell
who's
no.
that Lady Knight.
Yeah, Brienne.
Excuse
Brienne
me,
of
yeah,
Tarth.
that is-
She's
put
in
a
the five.
fucking
She's in
knight.
the five that you were listing earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was going toe to toe with Jamie. Granted, he was in chains and had
She
been
fought
like,
the Hound
and she fought the Hound. Like she
and lived.
fucking yeah. She is.
You could say maybe
She was,
won that fight.
She was at the
Yeah.
Battle of Winterfell
yeah,
in the front line,
and walked
and
away.
she walked away and became
Not
part of
lots
the
people
small
walked
council.
away, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Not many.
and she did.
Oh, what about Piggly Wiggly, the tubby boy? He
And then obviously, but he doesn't
Sam?
really count.
yeah, there you go,
Sir.
Sam.
You called him Piggly Wiggly? What's
Um,
wrong with you? I love Sam.
I do too, but
I do, yeah. He was one of the greatest fighters the Westeros had seen.
I just loved eating, bro.
Sam is a homie. Sam, like
Sam
from
is
episode
a
1
homie.
that you get introduced to Sam, Pablo was like, "Oh, I fucking love this character. Sam's
feel-
great."
He is a homie. I love Sam.
Yeah.
It's just like he gonna eat sausage before going into battle, bro. Like if there's two options.
He also turned into one of the bravest characters in
Oh,
the show. too.
hell yeah.
God, like from his introduction being that big of a coward to
Mhm.
what he did and like
Oh,
making
yeah.
it through Winterfell.
You
Oh,
see
yeah.
what a fucking impact John was on him.
Exactly. Yeah.
He
No, they
knew
both.
being around him
yeah.
that he had to live up to that expectation.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is crazy that the Night Watch just let him take fucking Ghost with him.
I
They
think about
did.
that a lot. Yeah.
That is crazy.
I guess I could have just seen it as an advantage. Like, all right, we're getting a new knight, and he comes with a fucking dire wolf.
Fuck it.
All right,
Yeah,
fuck
Yeah,
it.
he comes from House Stark, I guess.
And
yeah.
then another, I think, swordsman. Obviously, we didn't get to see at his peak, but I feel like Ned Stark would be up there.
Oh,
I would have
Oh,
loved
if
to
you
see
know,
that.
yeah.
Really.
Okay,
That's-
well, what about
that's
that
the thing.
motherfucker who was fighting with two swords?
See,
Who's
that's the
fucking
video I
everybody up?
remember I showed you, Sir, of Sir Arthur Dane.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, thank you.
Sir Arthur Dane. That's the video Ned pulls up. Remember when he has his kid and he pulls up with all them to the castle? It's a flashback when Ned is young and they end up having a 1v1 duel and Ned wins.
Oh, yeah.
Sir Arthur Dane in his prime and known throughout is one of the craziest swordsmen
That's
like ever.
because somebody backstabbed.
Yeah, he got
him.
backstabbed, and that's really the only reason he lost in the first place. But yeah,
He was a
because it
badass.
ended up becoming Ned and his like 3 people he was with against just him, and he
Mhm.
just
And
started
took out the other
slicing
two.
them down like
Yeah.
it was nothing, and like fought Ned and then got backstabbed.
I would have also loved to seen Robert Baratheon in his peak. He was
Robert
he was a fucking monster.
Yeah.
Who's the Stark that we're gonna be seeing soon here in House of Dragon?
It's going to be the Lord, right? The
Yeah, what's
Lord of
his name?
Winterfell?
What's his name? But he is one of like the most like warrior of the Starks. Like
oh, like one,
more than Ned is
Ned.
kind of what I'm like kind of heard and seen in the sense of like, because Ned would fight when he needed to. This dude like not necessarily wanted to, but like fighting was not ever out of the options for him. Like
I think it's-
like, oh, you want to go to war? Let's do it.
Violence is not always the answer, but it's a very effective one.
Dude.
Kragan
yep,
Stark?
that's who
Kragan
it is.
Stark, yeah.
Kragan
Stark.
dude.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah,
is going to come.
He's gonna be a.
He's going to be a force. People are going to need to be aware of Kragan Stark.
I'm really excited and glad that they kind of held off on showing the Starks until season 2 because it gives you so much more to like look forward to.
Because it's like they almost flipped it, right? We got a bunch of the North and stuff like that at the beginning of Game of Thrones.
Mhm.
And in this show, we get a bunch of the dragons, which we waited for. Now
Now
we're
we're getting the North.
anticipating the North. We're waiting to like, let's get to the North. They
Yeah.
flipped the script. a
Give
little
us something
bit.
that we're
Kinda
like
cool.
familiar with, basically.
Yeah.
Kind of have a question. So the crab feeder,
Uh-huh.
was he a green seer?
So that organization is what starts the Golden Harpies. The Golden Harpies you see in Game of Thrones stems from that same people.
Oh shit!
Damn, that's crazy as
So
fuck.
if you look at their mask and the things they have, if you look at the katana blades they use, when they attack in the city and that Colosseum, it's the same like design on the crab feeders like mask and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
Or
So
He
that
also
was
took
that's
that
like
mask.
so it's like they've always been a revolting. That's what it's known as, and they turned into the Golden Harpies, and that's the same people. Not saying
Wow.
obviously same people, but like same organization basically.
Huh?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yo, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much.
Yeah, so
much going
that's why there's always going to be some crazy revolt in the city, and that's why it's always so big. Is because if they do let it get big, obviously things like that can happen. Like it can be a force, and you saw. They had to go in there, Grey Worm and Ser Jorah, and they had to fight that 2v20 in that little.
Oh, bro,
room
that
or
was
whatever.
so good,
That was
though. I
such a
love
good
that
fight scene.
fight.
That was a great fight scene, man.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of like other just really big things. So ultimately, when do you guys think that like we're gonna see the first huge battle in season 2? Like, do you think it'll be pretty quickly, or do you think it's gonna be a lot of build up? Like, do you think
Episode 2.
like episode
They gotta
2?
break the internet, bro. They're smart enough. They're gonna come back, reintroduce everything, reestablish
Mhm.
everything, and then they're gonna start episode 2.
Season 1 will be a massive cliffhanger, and everybody will be like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're gonna hit us with
And then,
that
like,
war,
season 2
like
is
an
gonna
be-
actual battle.
Because
Dude, the way they use their dragons, they're just down there fighting in mass, right? And the dragons are just
Just
blowing
flying
fire
out.
on them, and it doesn't matter because they're fireproof.
yeah.
Like there's a lot more Valerians,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? There's a
Yeah.
lot more Targaryens,
Yeah.
and they're fireproof. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, dude, it's crazy when you think about it, man. Dragons are really like the nukes of back then, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
for
like
real.
it's like, dude, I have 4,000 men. It's like we have one dragon. That's all
I
it
need.
takes. like, man, the scene where Daenerys pulls up when Jamie and we were just talking
Bronn.
about him, Sir Bronn were there, and they start seeing the dragon, and she just comes through and just lights up their whole infantry, all their resources, everything. Within 20 minutes, they were done.
They were done.
They
Yeah.
were done. Like, there was no war fight to be done there. That battle was done.
Yeah, it's true.
The Ice
Ah,
King brought down the fucking wall in him.
Oh god, that's
Oh,
out of season 7. The
that
only
was
thing
the
that
craziest
ever
thing.
stands out to me is that fucking Viserion is the name of the dragon that
think
gets
so,
turned
yeah.
into
Oh, like an ice
an
dragon.
ice dragon.
Yeah.
That scene and that image of him like blasting the fucking wall and melting it down lives rent free in my head. I
He got a
still think
buff
about
on
it.
that.
Yeah, season 7, I think it definitely did. It was a little bit like of obviously like compared to other seasons, didn't have as many of like those holy crap scenes, but
Mhm.
I definitely think like the whole scene where they were sitting on the ice and it continued to shrink, and then when Daenerys pulled up with the
Yeah.
dragons and saved them, like that was a really
Yeah.
cool scene.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it had
Like
good
it showed
moments.
that like
was.
she committed to actually like knowing he's telling the truth and like I'm gonna come save you, and lost the dragon, but they ended up saving him. So, you know,
I guess he's that valuable.
Mhm.
he was that valuable. He was indeed that guy.
You know what's
So,
valuable?
I have a question for you.
Okay,
guys.
go for it.
Wait,
No,
sorry.
go right ahead. Go
I
right
have a
ahead. Go right
question
ahead.
for you guys.
Okay.
So I had a discussion with my friends a while back, and a bunch of my friends have seen Game of Thrones. So obviously Daenerys goes mad, right?
Mhm.
Loses her cool, loses everything. Was that not like foreshadowed, or did y'all not like that?
Dude, I fucking loved it.
Loved it.
Yeah. Okay, because I said that, and they were like, how are they going to make her the entire time be like freeing slaves and freeing everybody? And I'm like, that was the whole point. They
Yeah,
were
she got
proving that she
corrupt.
was going to do that, and then everything pushed her over the limit. She finally just lost it when Missandei died. and she
Yeah,
knew.
but I agree, but I think they didn't do it. I think the timing of it just didn't work out because, like, to me, it didn't make sense for her to lose it and snap after winning and after them actually surrendering. It would have made sense for her to snap immediately after Missandei got killed. That should have been the catalyst to kind of really push her over the edge. But I think they just waited a little long, and it didn't make sense, like, in regards to the scene that was going on.
Yeah,
Nah.
so
Think about it like this. You think you can take one of my close personal people, kill them in front of me, start a war against me, and then fucking surrender?
Nah.
Nah, bitch. You done crossed the fucking line like 2 seasons ago.
That's what I was going to say.
You sent people
made
to
that
assassinate me when I
decision.
wasn't even fucking living in this country. This
Mhm.
place burns.
Like I understand the motivation behind it, and it's not that I disagree with that. I just think that like they could have maybe they did
ultimately-
semi foreshadow it, but it
ultimately
just
it was-
wasn't enough in my opinion. It felt
Ultimately,
jarring.
I think what it all comes down to is that season 8 was rushed. But that,
Yes,
that
yeah.
ultimately, like, look, I'm not like a lot of people dislike the ending. I don't dislike the ending. I think it was rushed. I think they didn't take their time with it, and I think they tried to put too much information in too fast. But for the most part, I agree with where the characters ended up. Like,
so
I
you're
think
cool with like Bran being the king and everything, getting the Iron Throne.
Yeah, I don't mind it because they were foreshadowing the entire time Jon Snow being King of the North whenever he went out and was with those people and brought those people together and back to the wall. Like, they foreshadowed that he was going to be able to lead those people. Obviously, he had the ability to lead all people, but they foreshadowed like that was his people. He was the odd one out. He was the bastard. Like, he was never that, like,
He was never destined to
wanted
be-
that king.
And I
even
agree,
said
he
that.
never wanted
made that
it.
comment too. He was like,
I never
I'll do
wanted
it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't necessarily want this, and that's what I think. Kind of, he was the king of the North, king of the people that didn't necessarily, like, not saying belong, they did, but like they weren't within the wall. They were.
Yeah, it made sense that like he didn't want it and everything, but I kind of always saw that like a running theme was, you know, the people that didn't want those positions were the ones that were always kind of
Yeah.
destined to do it, and the ones that would have done the best job out of everyone. You know what I mean? It was the people that desired. Like, that's the whole premise of the show. The show is called Game of Thrones because the entire series is about everybody playing the game of I want the throne. No, I deserve the throne. No, I have a better claim to it, right? And they were all just not right rulers. Joffrey was not it. Tommen, honestly, like, he could have been good king, but it just didn't matter because they were illegitimate. You know, it came from the Lannisters' own self fucking preservation. They didn't want their house to die.
down on him.
Yeah, they pushed it down. It was all Cersei kind of like manipulating all of that. They wanted to keep the power in the family, right?
Yeah.
And Jon Snow, yes, he was the bastard, but I just think that it made sense, and especially with the whole Targaryen reveal that like he technically has better claim to the throne than all of them, but he didn't even want it, and that's why I always thought that he would have been a great rightful ruler.
No,
right?
he 100% would have been a great rightful ruler. No, like in the sense of like he obviously showed his, like he could be a merciful king. He could have been a king that could lay down the law when he executed that guy at
Mhm.
Night's Watch when he decided to raise
That
his voice
child.
to him. Yep, and he had to do that and had to make that decision. It showed like, I can
You
be
fucking
merciful,
killed
but I'll
me,
make
bro.
that. But I'll make
Mhm.
that decision if I have to.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing I will say I disagree with from the Game of Thrones ending is I do not think Arya
melting
Stark
of
should
the
have killed
fucking-
the Night King.
Oh, I 100%
yeah,
agree with
great.
that. Yeah.
Like
I'm
I
okay
know
with that.
people are like Jon Snow's too typical. I'd rather.
I'm
rather
okay
have
with that.
him
I loved
kill the
Arya
Night King.
Stark. She was always an
Yeah.
assassin. For her to come in, pull up, be like, ah.
Yeah, dude, but like I I
Gotcha.
guess, but it's like I kind of look at it as like, where did she come from, dude? Where was
The
she?
entire time she was trying to get back with her family.
The
She
o-
finally gets back.
No, I'm
She's
saying
finally
like
back in Winterfell. It's time to defend her home.
no, I understand
It
that.
tracks for the character.
Hold on, but check this out. Check this out. Listen, okay?
And
all this
she had the fucking Valyrian blade
Okay.
from way long
Yes,
ago.
understandably, but hold on, go ahead.
Check this out though. Okay. Aegon foresaw the child of fire, ice and fire. Okay. All the shit that's going down in House of the Dragons, all the fucking people that are dying because of this prophecy, all of that for Jon Snow not to do dick and Arya Stark come in for the fucking kill.
Hey, bro.
That makes
Like it's
that
it's
literally
shitting on its
makes-
own lore. It's
No,
literally setting it up to not do it, to be like
the
plot twist.
He,
like
he united the
no.
realms.
I
He
mean,
got everybody to like
the
make
only
the army,
theory,
but like
the only theory I'll support. Sorry, what you're saying. Go ahead.
like he got the army. Yes, like he like got everybody to fight them. But then to like not give him the fucking kill, like
They did give him the kill. You know what kill they gave him?
the dragon?
No.
Daenerys?
Oh.
Yep.
God.
That's not the one that
he
he
killed the Mad
deserved, in my
Queen, bro.
opinion.
He
But that's
vanquished
not-
the evil.
but
for the
it's
realm.
not- but it's
That's
worse-
not the
it's
disaster
worse
that
There
was
is a theory
prophesized.
though. There is a theory that I have that my friend gives me onto why he justifies the Arya kill.
Okay.
One thing that everybody forgets about Arya, what was she very good at? Obviously killing, but what people did she meet
Oh,
with?
she was like a master of disguise.
Yeah.
Master of disguise of the faces.
Yeah.
When one of those Night Kings and people die before, they think possibly she was so good she was able to get a face of one of like the people. And in the background behind the Night King, he had a few people when he walked up there with him. They think Arya could have possibly been one of those people.
Like
And
one of the
that-
other White Walkers?
Yeah, one of the other, like almost looking like a White Walker.
Oh.
And that's how she was able to get the jump on the Night King. Now that is a theory that I can possibly support because she was that good at.
Mhm.
It would make sense if like that's
Got it,
how she
got
got
it.
there. I think it
Because-
ultimately just comes down to like who like I don't know how much you really wanted like Jon Snow to like conclude that character arc, because for me personally that's what it was. He was
Mhm.
the only person that was able to unite all of the kingdoms for a common cause because of what he saw and what he experienced with the White Walkers and the Night King.
Yeah.
And it just like to me it just it wasn't
Then in
satisfying.
season 7, when they have that, ultimately that stare down and like that like long like look and they draw the
Mhm.
swords, it's like it almost was setting up that like it's me and you, dude.
Mhm.
Like it's me and you. Like obviously in the sense of I agree with you, Gary, on how you said she's an assassin, she's a killer, she was in her home, because I ultimately agree with that. I think like she like diffs about 98% of the Game of Thrones verse.
Yeah, for real.
But like
I keep telling my
you
brother,
know.
is like she's honestly like one of the top tier like fighters.
oh
in the
yeah,
show.
dude.
And she's like this girl, and
with
I'm like
those blades and stuff, dude.
Yes.
She's too
Mhm.
fast for the most part. I mean, she fought Brienne of Tarth once again and did fine.
Yeah.
like held her own perfectly okay. Like, she's one of those
Which
fighters.
is crazy because
It's
like
crazy.
she
She's
had
only, and it's still,
strength.
and that's the thing. And at that point, she's only like what? At that, when they duel in Winterfell,
Maybe, like,
she's probably what,
15 or
15, 16.
That's true.
Like, can you imagine after she goes off on her own, really
Mhm.
explores the world? If they come back, shows
that's what I
everything
did
how
like though at
strong
the ending
she
that
will
they
be.
got her to like
Yeah,
explore
because
the
that's
world.
exactly what she wanted to do. She wanted to be on her own, doing her own thing.
Yeah, she was never
got her
meant to be a
family,
high
she got
noble or
back,
anything.
No.
No, that wasn't for her.
She just wanted to see it, and then now she's able to do her own thing. She knows things are set right.
No, I don't remember who I was talking to about this, but someone might have been one of y'all was telling me that they saw a lot of similarities with Rhaenyra and Arya. Was it you? Yes, right? Yeah, it was Gary.
Yeah,
So
I love it, bro.
I think we were just talking. We were saying how like essentially Rhaenyra is as gutsy and as like ready to kind of do what she needs to do.
She's a warrior,
And
bro.
she's a warrior as much as Arya was. And I kind of think, dang, it'd be crazy to think that like Arya may have possibly been very similar to Rhaenyra if she kept growing up as a highborn, but was able to kind of do her own thing and be her character. You know what I mean? I think like Rhaenyra is the closest we'd be to what she could have.
To what she could have been.
Yeah, to what she could have been. Yeah, this has gone longer than I thought.
Yeah, way fucking longer.
This is great though. Thank you so much for coming on, Brayden. This was a
course.
great
You want to
talk.
see something cool though?
I do.
Make sure you guys watch the episode on Thursday when it releases on YouTube, Anime Alchemist Podcast. You can check the audio on Wednesdays on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and Anchor. Make sure you guys check out my TikTok, MV Joro.
And mine at Garish Mataro.
Check out the podcast at the Anime Alchemist Podcast. The TikToks at blah, 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 blah. Y'all know what. Check out the Discord, Misdirection Pirates. Tune in to Anime Nights. We watch Chainsaw Man and Bleach, usually Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah. So if you guys want to watch that with us as well. Also, guys, just remember, big news.
I'm gonna put the big news Morgan.
Alchemist out.
Alchemist
Alchemist
out.
Wait.
We're back in.
Do you have any like social media you need to plug or anything like that? I was a dick and I didn't do it for fucking
All
Colby.
good, man. I enjoyed being here. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks for coming on.
Cool, now get the fuck out.
Peace.
Later.